Take a deep breath. Deep conversations are starting.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Deep Conversations by Breath Up. I have another lovely lady with me. I don't know why I'm bending to the microphone. I will let her introduce herself because I know it's always better for people to introduce themselves. Welcome.
Hello, Nevşah.
I'll let you introduce yourself.
Thank you, Nevşah, for inviting me to your podcast. It's amazing to be here and connecting with your amazing audience as well. My name is Thimela Garcia. I'm known as Mel or Chakra Mama Healing. I'm a yoga teacher and holistic practitioner based in London, and I'm part of the Breath Hub family, of course.
I would like to dive deep into Chakra Mama Healing. Would you explain us a little bit about what you're doing over there?
Chakra Mama Healing...
because it sounds exciting, right, guys? It sounds amazing.
It is exciting. It is exciting. So Chakra Mama Healing was born, I think, mid 2019. I was already using a name as a Holistic Mind UK. I was obviously doing all the healing arts, Reiki, sound healing. I was taking part in big festivals, yoga retreats. But something clicked one day that I thought that I just completely grown out of Holistic Mind UK, and I wanted to go even deeper. And I think I evolved in so many ways. My personal yoga practice evolved, and it was very much direction was into the chakras. And I came up with the chakra and the mama because I'm a mom, and the healing because that is what is my purpose or what I want to do. And so that's how Chakra Mama Healing came up. And after that it's been amazing. I've been enjoying being called and known as Chakra Mama Healing.
It's a brilliant name. And
thank you.
You have a great book. I think it just came up, right?
Yes.
It's brand new, called Chakras. It's for anybody who wants to dive into chakras, the Kundalini energy and the chakras, the guide to principles, practices, and more. Would you explain our listeners what they can find in the book?
Yes. Yes, you are right. The book has been just published on the 5th of August this year. I wrote the book last year during the lockdown, 3 months only. It's 304 pages, and it's more like just a book. It is a comprehensive manual and of rituals and practices, super complete, in my opinion. I've heard so many good feedbacks and reviews.
It's beautiful.
Of it.
You have everything is in colors, of course. Everything is in different chakras, and of course, I'm interested because I know our listeners will also be interested in the topic Kundalini awakening. It's a huge topic, right? Nowadays,
yes, it is.
I keep on hearing and I keep on getting, even though I don't work around that area, I keep on getting questions on Kundalini awakening. What's Kundalini awakening? How can we awaken Kundalini? And you have great stories around that. And I would love to listen to your Kundalini awakening and also how people can awaken their own Kundalini energy.
Yeah, sure. Basically, I have to say that my first love in yoga was Ashtanga yoga, which is a yoga style which focuses a lot on the physical part of the self, of the person. And from that, as I said, I was diving more into the chakras and the healing and the energies. And when I had the opportunity to become a yoga teacher, I wanted to study the Kundalini. But my Kundalini yoga is the original, the tantric traditional Kundalini, not the modern Kundalini as it is by Yogi Bhajan. And so the roots are very tantrics, and there's so much that is said about the Kundalini nowadays, and I think we just really scratching just the surface of Kundalini. Kundalini is that dormant powerful energy that is within us at the base of the spine. And what we do in this lifetime is the purpose is just to awaken that energy. Is that energy that I was saying the other day that we have created this world, we have achieved achieve so much as a collective in the world with working only with a little potential of ourselves. Imagine if we awaken this amazing creative energy, huge energy
in our roots.
Exactly.
Basically.
Imagine if we do that, then this world would be completely different. And this is what I liked about this practice, is that I know and I have felt this energy, part of that energy, and I know it's super powerful. And this is why I want to get the word out there and get people into the chakra system and the Kundalini, because it really is amazing an experience, and it will develop you. It will take you to another, I will say, to the maximum of your potential.
Yeah. So I'm going to dive deep into something else, because I know you also have a tantric background. This is probably a question for many people. Is the Kundalini energy a sexual energy? Is it related with sexual, sexuality, because it's deep in our roots and it's very, connected over there? What would you say around that?
Yes, it is in a way, yes. I know there is a little bit of a misunderstanding when people say tantric or tantra, people associate it with Kama Sutra or with a sexual part. Tantra as itself is a system of practices, and the sexual part, it is linked, but it's not the whole thing. The Kundalini Shakti or Kundalini energy, it is very much that sexual energy that it is within ourselves.
I think why people relate, Tantra and the Kundalini with the sexual energy, I think it's because it's around the, first chakra, the root chakra.
Yes.
So can we also say, also awakening the Kundalini energy and the awakening the tantric energy is very much related, because it's basically taking that root energy and just, hiring that energy, just, creating that very roots, low vibrational energy, and just taking it to a higher and higher frequency.
Yeah.
So I think that's why people are maybe Kundalini awakening and also the tantric energy, the sexual energy, they're all related.
Yeah. They're sort of definitely related. And if we go, as you say, in the tantra and the tantric knowledge and traditions, obviously the Kundalini energy is represented, or what we know, by Shakti. And then obviously we have Shiva, which is the divine feminine energy. And then Shiva is the masculine energy. Shiva is the container, is the highest consciousness, and is, according to the tantric traditions, is sitting at the crown of the head, the crown chakra, because it represents the highest consciousness. Whereas the Kundalini or Shakti is at the bottom, which have to be awakened with the purpose that when it rises up, it meets Shiva. And there is that communion, that unification of Shiva, the masculine energy, with the feminine energy. So there is that sort of powerful union between the two forces. Yeah. And then once that happens, then there is no duality. Then the duality dissolves, and it's just pure consciousness. And this is what the purpose of any yogi is to achieve that, to raise the consciousness. That energy represents consciousness. So it is very low at the moment, individually and a collective level. Mm-hmm. And what we need is very much on the material and physical world. And that's why we are very much into the physical and material. And in order for us to ascend and level up our consciousness, we need to work on bringing that energy up, which represents our consciousness. Yeah. So the higher it starts ascending, the more awakened we're going to become, and the more detached we're going to be of all this physical and a material world where we are.
Okay. So one last question about Shakti and Shiva. How I see it, or how I connect with the Shakti energy, it's kind of like the Shakti energy is the energy, the vibration that is everywhere, and it's ever expanding, like the expansion of the feminine energy, ever expanding. And the Shiva brings structure and brings kind of like system, the male energy, like when we speak in everyday languages for people who are more, who are not much into, the spiritual realm, but you want to tap into. Maybe they want to know more about it on, everyday language. It's kind of like the Shiva and the male energy is the system. It's the, it's the crown,
Analytical.
it's the systemizing, it's the intellectual, it is bringing structure. And I sometimes say it's like the male sexual organ, very structured.
Yeah.
But the Shakti is like the woman, like the feminine sexual organ is expanding, and it's expansion and ever expanding. And bringing those together is kind of like grounding the feminine energy, grounding the Shakti energy. I see that's kind of like what we need. I want to know your ideas about that. Like where do you see the world? Where is the world at right now? Because I have a strong feeling we're very much, tapping into the Shakti energy.
Absolutely.
And that's why everything is falling apart. And I see more and more men having problems about their lives, which wasn't the case 15 years ago, because I've been working with a lot of individuals on, in my workshops, mentoring, and I haven't been seeing this many men having problems with their lives 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So I kind of like see this evolving happening, and I think everything we're experiencing is about that. Like the Shakti is just, the Kundalini awakening, and the Shakti is there,
Yeah,
I would like to learn your ideas. Like, how do you see it?
Yeah, you are absolutely right with everything that you have just said. The Kundalini energy, or the Shakti energy, has been repressed over the years. We are living in a world that is dominated by men. And women in living in these modern times have been trying to compete or be equal to men in terms of jobs and salaries and everything. So we are in a world that is men dominated. And what happened, that feminine energy, which is, as you say, very creative, is intuitive, is nourishing, has been repressed because we need to try to live in a line with the world that is male or energy and men dominated. So now what's happening is, with this awakening, collective awakening, the feminine, the divine feminine is rising, and now sisters are coming together. We are now nourishing our bodies. Now we understand that we need to, it's not about need to do and go and do, it's more about also resting and tapping into that feminine energy that tell us to rest, to tap into our bodies, to nourish our bodies, and to integrate. It's about no competition, and it's about integrating the two forces together. And this is what happened. The feminine energy is present within women and also within men. So it's present within all of us. And what we need to do is try to integrate both energies. And what's happening is now that feminine energy is rising, and it can create a conflict.
And it's needed, kind of.
It has to happen. It has to happen. The awareness of women are speaking up now. Women as a group, there you see now there is more. It's not about being a feminist. It's about recognizing that you're a divine being, and you have those qualities. That repression as women, the women have felt since the world is world, is breaking. Those structures are
we're
breaking,
still
the patriarchal
generation,
structures.
and we're still the generation, like kind of after the war generation. And, because of that, it was always like action and development and developing and structuring. So it's kind of like the male energy was needed. When I look back, I can see that the male energy was needed so that we could create this. We could create the buildings, and we could create the economy and the capitalism and everything. And now it's kind of like saturated because it's like too much. And that's why the world has been, I think, forcing us, that's what I see individually, like forcing us to stop and calm down and tap into that Shakti energy. And men and women, like for all of us, I think it's been happening for the past few years.
Yeah,
it's
which
amazing.
is beautiful to witness. Exciting times for sure. Witnessing be part of that process. Because we need to think about also our generation and our kids, the youngest that are coming now through. They are, I do have now very young clients, young girls. When I was at that age, I was in another world. I was in my world. Well, I don't know. And it is beautiful to see young women like 19 and 20 coming to me because they are very awake. They are very aware of the impact of what's happening. And they're talking in such a way of about womanhood and the womb, the sacred space, the divine energy. So I think also social media has been playing an important role right now because it's helping to spread the world of the divine feminine rising and getting the sisters together. So there is a lot of awakening goddesses, circles, women's circles, ceremonies, rituals where we can start co-creating and tapping into that magical energy as well again,
And you have an amazing story around that. Like you did tap into that goddess energy with an amazing experience.
Yes, it was.
Let's hear about that.
Yes, very quickly, making the long story short, this was during my initiation as a Kundalini yoga teacher. And by that moment when we had this mantra initiation, we were tapping into the energy of one of the goddess, the Hindu goddess, which is Kali. She's represented by being a black color, and she's got the tongue out, and she actually has a head, holding a head and sort of thing. So it can be quite graphic, and I know it can be terrifying for some people, but it's actually, she's a good mother that cares for all the children. Anyway, we were just invoking that energy, tapping into that energy with mantras, meditation, strong Kundalini techniques and Tantric techniques. And I had the visions during the meditation, which lasted around 45 minutes. I started becoming very anxious and actually scared as well. And I had the visions of skeletons, and I had of someone, and the image of someone in my face with a tongue out. And at that point, I didn't know how Kali goddess looked like. I didn't know. The teacher didn't show us a picture, and I didn't know. And then after the practice, I sent to the teacher an email and say, I had these visions during my practice and I felt scared, and what does it mean? And then she said, you have had the representation of Kali. Kali is represented with a skeleton with skulls around her, and she has the tongue out. So from that moment, I completely 100% believe that this is true. The Hindus, goddess and goddess energies are there, that you can really tap into these energies when you are in that space of, completely meditation. When you focus, you can invoke these energies. And it was, even though it was scary at some point, because Kali goddess is chaotic. That energy is a little bit of a chaotic, because she's a destroyer as well. But then after that, it came a beautiful calm that I felt, and peace. And it's like everything came back to place even better. So I just felt that was a certain awakening for me.
Yeah, and it's
was
kind
incredible.
of like, it's beautiful because it's like the world has its own balance. So without the destruction, there is no birth.
Exactly.
So that's like, I can fully connect with her energy, like destruction to give birth.
Yeah.
Because without the other one isn't possible. Neither of it is possible without each other. So
absolutely.
It's
beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. I see you're a very inspired teacher, and you're very passionate about your work, because the moment we walked in, we started chatting and talking, and I was like, stop, let's talk about these in the podcast. Yeah, and I'm going to ask you one more question, and this is kind of like a popular question of mine. I have been asking for some time now for every teacher I was privileged to speak with. I don't say interview because this doesn't seem like an interview. I'm also a teacher, so it's kind of like a deep conversation between two dedicated teachers on their own path. What would be the one thing you want or would like humanity to know and understand before you die?
Wow, what a question. I think I would love to see more people believing in themselves and understanding that we are more than just a flesh and bones, that we are beings more capable of you can imagine to do. So once you have that little, seed planted in you that you are more than just this image which you identify yourself with, then you are able to create the life, you want.
So going beyond the body.
Beyond this mind, beyond this physical body, there is something beautiful, incredible that some of us understand and are on this path of understanding that we are beautiful spiritual beings living in a physical experience. And I think once that will also help this world to become less angry as well, more loving, because there is, we live in that sort of, as I mentioned before, we are in that space of ego identification with the material things and the physical. And once we start understanding that we are more than that, then we don't need to attach to that being greedy and really holding on to ego and attached to the physical things. That's causing all the pain and suffering in the world and to ourselves. So I think the more you tap into that beautiful energy in a self, then you understand that, you're more than that. You can live.
Yeah, and I would like to finish this with an inquiry for anybody listening to us. So if you are someone who's already meditating, doing yoga, breath work, you know what we're talking about, you know exactly what we're talking about, which is beyond words, but we do tap into a level of consciousness where we can fully leave this body world illusion and tap into something more real. But if you're someone who is new to all these practices and you're kind of like, I don't know what you're talking about, I would ask you to just have an inquiry on yourself, for yourself, and ask yourself, if I'm not this body, who am I? So just start. Let's start with this inquiry, because I think it all starts there.
Yeah.
If I'm not this body, this is kind of like the whole after death experiences people live and experience, kind of like, if you're not this body, who are you? Yeah, that's the inquiry for today.
Or who's witnessing your thoughts? Because when you are sitting in meditation and you identify, hold on, you're thinking, but you know that you are thinking such a thing. So who's that person? Who's that?
Yeah.
Consciousness that who's thinking, that's seeing you thinking.
Yeah.
So you see, there is something beyond this mind. There is something beyond this body. Once you tap into that a sweet spot of awareness, and only you can achieve that with that stillness. That sometimes you need to sit in that stillness to find the answers, to really shut the noises in your mind, in your head, because that's a superficial mind that is telling you this and that. That's not actually the mind. I love that. Who am I?
Who are we? And anyone who would like to shut that voice in the head, who would like to dive deep into meditation, download Breath Hub if you haven't before, and start practicing breath work, because with breath work, in a couple of minutes, you can deeply dive into that silent, sweet spot and connect with what we're saying. Thank you so much. This was beautiful.
Thank you.
And I enjoyed every moment of it.
Thank you.
And thanks for listening, and thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it as well. If you like our videos and podcasts, make sure you click on like wherever you're watching or listening to us, and also make sure you subscribe. See you in the next one.
See you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.